It's interesting the way God uses people in your life to tell you things that you sometimes want to hear and sometimes you don't want to hear. Um, and I think that what matters most often is the motive behind why somebody is saying the things they're saying to you. I think at times we can get caught up in thinking that people are saying stuff to us because they're busybodies or nosy or whatever. But the reality is, I can't see myself coming half the time, right? In literature, it says that we're great ones for manipulating the truth and that we're master manipulators, right? Experts at self-deception. And I do the best job of deceiving myself more than anybody, right? Because I know me and I know that there's things that I don't like the truth. I don't want to have to really look at myself. I'd rather look at you and tell you why things are wrong in our lives because you're screwing them up rather than me having a part to play in the situation. And so, yeah, like I said before, right, I believe the greatest way to love somebody is to tell them the truth no matter what, even at the cost of my relationship with them. Because like I said yesterday, if you have somebody who's willing to lie to you, they don't love you, right? Like, I'm not of that thought process that I want to spare your feelings so that we can stay friends. No, because then all that happens is that you slowly kill yourself and it's on my watch. And I'm not okay with that, right? I would prefer that you be mad at me and not like me because I told you to stop dying, right? Or stop hurting yourself or stop living in an illusion of a reality that doesn't exist. And so I want to just put that out there. Somebody needs to hear that, right? That you're lying to yourself and the reality that you're in isn't true. And I hope that you figure it out because life on the other side is way better, right? Being honest with self is better than lying to self. So anyhow, I posted this morning, who writes your story, right? And I get it, right? A lot of my Christian brothers and sisters their first response would definitely be God. But I want to go deeper than that, right? Because who's responsible for the things that I feel or the things that I think, right? Because I know there's a lot of people around me who are emotionally driven, right? Their emotions dictate their day, right? Even though we know that feelings and emotions are not facts, but because I feel something, I believe it to be true when it's not always true, but that dictates my reality. And that's why I posed the question, who writes your story, right? Because I think we allow our story to be written on false pretenses. I want to be in control of my story. Hear me saying that with a grain of salt, right? I get it. God has a purpose and a plan for me. And I'm not trying to, when I say I want to write my story, I'm not trying to interfere with that. But what I am trying to say is that I want to be responsible for the things that I do and don't do, right? I don't want it to be a reaction to you, the reason I did something, right? Like we say all the time, it's not tit for tat, right? I think that's how you say it. But I don't do something because you did something to me. I want to be the one who's in control of my reality and that I respond to situations rather than react to them. I enjoy peace and serenity, and one of the things that I was talking with somebody about is that I have an opportunity. If I have an opportunity to make a difference or make a change in a situation, I want to do it, right? If that's I'm fighting with someone or we're in a bad space or we're not getting along, I don't have to keep engaging you, right? I can do something different and not ignore you, but walk away, right? Take a time out. I can change the subject, right? There's things that I can do that don't keep digging a hole deeper for us. And because I want peace and I want happiness, right? I don't like turmoil and drama, and especially if I have the ability to do something about it. This morning I got a text message from a friend who told me they watch my videos every day, right? And so thank you for that. But they said that they're encouraged by my videos every day, right? And they say that I always make a few good points, right? Which makes me think the rest of my videos suck, but there's a few nuggets they can take away from it, and it keeps them going, and it says they've been motivated to make some life changes, right? They've lost weight during this time that we've been talking about this. I know that if they are still doing what they said, or they've been intermittent fasting ever since April when I did my 30-day fast, right? So there's things that we need to hear sometimes from people that keep us moving in an upward direction, and hearing that, right? Even though I didn't have the notion to stop doing these every day, because I told you I would do them every day, 180 straight days, right? At least 180, because I committed to the 6 months that I'm gonna be on this journey to 10% body fat. It's still encouraging to know that there's somebody out there getting something from what I'm saying, and that feels good, right? And so, but I like that, but that's not why I do this, right? I do this for me, because sometimes I don't listen to nobody else talk but myself, right? And what I mean by that is, I'm the only one. I need to be able to hear me say some things so that I know where I'm at, and because being able to speak realities, right? Like most of the time that I'm talking into these videos, I'm not talking to nobody, I'm talking to me. And so when I'm talking about there's certain feelings or thoughts or emotions that someone may be experiencing, I am experiencing those at times. And so when I hear me talk about it, sometimes I hear the solution come out of my own mouth. And so it's good to be able to do these, because I do go back and play them and listen to some of the things that I say, because I actually think I'm a very smart, very good speaker at times, right? And I love listening to me preach over, and I have a buddy who's like, I hate listening to myself preach again, or like listening to the recording of my preaching. I'm like, man, I love it. I'd be like, oh, that's a good point. Oh, yeah, right? I get into it because I enjoy some of the things that I say a lot. And so, but I wanted to just ask the question, like, who is writing your story? There's lots of changes that have been made in my life just in the last month, right? I get up at a certain time every day like clockwork, right? Some days are easier than others, but now I have a reason to get out of bed, because my wife has pushed the challenge even further to like engage me more, right? I work out in the mornings, and I get my reading and my writings done. I get my videos done early, write my just for todays, and that has been really good, because I have been ignoring the meditations for a long time, and now I'm getting back into them, and I have to read them a few times so that I can get ready to speak them on the video, right? And so there's a lot of things that are happening that are putting me in a better place mentally, physically, and emotionally, spiritually. And I've been enjoying this journey. I know sometimes the diet gets hard, right? Just because it's so time consuming, right? To have to punch in my calories, or not take pictures, but put it into MyFitnessPal so that my coach can see the things that I'm consuming, right? Because my training program, my training regimen is all based on the way my body is handling the macros he's assigning me, right? And so like, he wants pictures every Friday, and he wants me, I think he wants me to get on the scale every Friday too, and update him so that we can make adjustments to the work that I'm doing and stuff like that. And but it's been fun, right? I've been enjoying the different style of workout here, right? With the more bodybuilding style. One thing I keep putting in there is new exercises for muscles I don't normally work, right? And I'm not used to doing 6 sets of 25 repetitions of anything, right? In weightlifting and in powerlifting, we say five reps is cardio, right? And the weight is much lighter than what I'm used to, because I'm doing way more reps. And usually when you're doing 2 reps, you're maxing around 90%, 95% of your 1 rep max. And so the weight is significantly different too. And so it's just been a journey, you know. One of the things that I noticed about me yesterday is one thing I always tell people when I'm fasting. I always notice the frame of thought process, right? I walk to the fridge and I tell myself I'm hungry when I know I'm not, right? And I open the fridge looking for something, but I'm fasting, so why am I even looking in the fridge, right? But last night I maxed out my calories that I was allowed for the day. I met my macros perfectly the way I was asked to, and I walk over and I tell myself I'm gonna have some fiber tonight, because I usually take fiber every day to help, you know, get things moving sometimes, because when you're consuming a lot of protein, sometimes it feels like you get a little backed up. But I looked at the peanut butter, and this is like where like the changes are starting to happen, right? I tell myself, well, I'm gonna have some fiber so I could have a few extra carbs, because I'm gonna basically flush those out. And I take a scoop, I get a spoon, and I start to get a scoop of peanut butter. And of course, it's not weighed out, which it should be, but it's not. And because, you know, I don't want to weigh a scoop of peanut butter. But what I did do is, as I'm taking the scoop out, I'm holding the spoon, I look at the back of the calories, and I see that it said the Jiffy was 190 calories. I went, holy cow, 190. And I tell you, I took the spoon and I started putting it all back into the container, right? And I'm like, what am I doing? Right? What am I doing? I'm self-sabotaging, right? I'm trying to find a workaround, because at the end of the day, right, who's writing your story? I want to say the training program I was given didn't work, right? And at the end of the day, who's at fault? Me. I'm responsible for my recovery. I can no longer blame people and places and things for my addiction. I can't. At the end of the day, I'm the one who's responsible for the life that I live. I am. Right? I'm the one who has to make the decision to do something or not do something, to go somewhere or not go somewhere, to read that book or not read that book, or to say that word or not say that word. I'm the one who makes those decisions, because at the end of the day, I need to be responsible for my reality. I have to be, right? What am I going to do? Make you responsible for my reality? Then you become my God, right? And that doesn't work for me, because I already serve a great God. You're not it, right? And I have to tell myself, like, why are you doing what you're doing, right? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you getting ready to take this action that you're getting ready to take? What is it going to do for you? Does it put you in a better position, right? That's the question I have to ask. Does what I'm getting ready to do put me in a better position than before? If it's no, then why am I doing it, right? Why am I doing it? Whether that be what I'm putting in my body, the workout I'm getting ready to do, right? The interactions with my family, my wife, my kids, my grandkids, right? Like, does it help me? Because I want to be the writer of my own story, right? Because that's what I want. That's what I want you to be. I want you to be the writer of your own story. I want you to be responsible for the life that you live. Because at the end of the day, when you're laying there on your deathbed, who are you going to blame for your life sucking if it sucks? Are you going to say my mommy or my daddy didn't do a good enough job? My spouse didn't do a good enough job? Or are you going to be able to look in the mirror in that last minute and go, I didn't do a good enough job? Right? I tell the guys that I work with, we live with no regrets. No regrets, right? We take proper action, and I'm totally 100% responsible for the result, for the consequence that comes my way as a result of me doing what I do. I'm responsible. Can you be responsible? Will you be responsible? Right? Because something didn't go your way, so now it's somebody else's fault. Not okay. You know, and so I just wanted to talk a little bit about that today. You know what I mean? I wanted to encourage the people who are you know, being faithful to the videos and watching them. I thank you for those of you who have been subscribing. You know, the subscriptions have picked up a little bit, and I thank you for that, right? Keep spreading the word. Keep telling people that this is here, that there's some inspiration or some, you know, like some real life stories being told about things that people go through on a regular basis. And so if nobody's told you today, God loves you, and so do I. I hope you have a great day, and God bless you.